Welcome to another episode of the Sacred Rage podcast. I am your host, Tasha Renee. I am a women's sacred scream therapy coach. I have been for about 5 years. If you're interested in my work, you can reach me at sisterhoodofsacredfire.com. You can find me on Instagram under the same name, and you can email me at sisterhoodofsacredfire@gmail.com. We have the lovely Candy Ann with us today, and I would love for you to introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, and where we can find you if we want to look up your work and what you do.
Awesome. Yes. Hi, I'm Candy Ann. I'm a Theta Healing practitioner. So I do work with Theta Healing. I also do a lot of divine feminine work. I like to create and facilitate programs and workshops as well. So I did take a bit of a break from my business, but I'm getting everything back up and running again. And I'm just in the middle of setting up scheduling and stuff, but you can find me on my Facebook, which is Candy Ann Fort. That's where I'm most reachable at the moment. So
Perfect. Yay. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have you on. So tell me why it is that you wanted to do a podcast episode with me.
Because I really like the work that you do, because I really feel that we are definitely living in a time right now where the feminine is rising, and a lot of us are rising to higher levels of consciousness, and we're starting to realize that, you know, what it is to do the embodiment work and the emotional work, and how important it is for women to work through their emotions, especially their rage, you know. And I'm a mother. I have 2 children, and both my kids are like ADHD, so neurodivergent. I'm also the same, and I feel like they've come here to teach me a lot. So, you know, when they have those overwhelming feelings of rage and anger come up within themselves, you know, as a child, what's the first thing you do? You chuck a tantrum, throw yourself on the ground, you start screaming, you know. And as adults, we're programmed, you know, throughout our time from childhood, you know, teenage, you know, not to do that. But I really feel that it's at a time that when we have those overwhelming feelings of rage, you know, instead of going, you know, I don't have time for this, or I can't do this, I have no control of this, we need to find those safe ways to release that. And screaming is a really good way for women to let that go. So, yeah.
Yeah, most fucking definitely. And you know, you talk about the tantrum, and I have like in my 6-week program when I used to do that, I don't really do it that much anymore, but I have a tantrum exercise where I literally have people get down on the ground and just, you know, and it's funny because a lot of people are just like, oh, I just feel weird doing that. I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, you know, just start doing it. Because what happens is your body starts to remember what it's like to do that, because it's innately just ingrained in us as children, and it's an actual processing tool that our bodies use to release anger and rage. And so I'll have people just get on the bed and just start doing the motion. Just like, what do you think you have kids, what do you think your kids do? Just do what your kids do. And I said, and now start saying out loud why you're mad. Do that and start saying why you're pissed off. And it's so interesting how then they start to get really fucking pissed off, or they start to cry, or they just like their bodies just start to like naturally release whatever's pent up inside of them. Like, definitely need to give ourselves the permission to release like children, because it is anger release when you're doing it therapeutically is a inner child and inner teenager healing, right? Like it really is. Yeah, a lot of it's teenager, but if you had abusive things happen to you that were taken from you as a child, then this allows you to somatically like release the anger that's in your actual body, in your tissues, and your organs. It's very, very, very helpful.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, when I get angry and frustrated, that's the first thing I feel and see is my teenager. Straight away.
Right?
And I just allow her to be angry and frustrated, you know. It's okay. It's safe. Yeah.
Yeah. So what, when you say that, what do you mean? Like what happened to you as a teenager where you had anger and rage?
Well, I had my childhood, there was a lot when I was growing up. My mum, obviously, because I do a lot of generational trauma healing and ancestral trauma healing, and through my genetic line, there was a lot of abuse, sexual abuse, and then domestic violence abuse. And I've known ever since I was, young, that I'm just here to break that cycle of domestic violence and sexual abuse within my genetic line for the women. And, as a child, I love my dad dearly, but, he was abusive. He was an alcoholic, and he was abusive towards mum and towards me. And so, yeah. And then going on as a teenager, I just was quite suicidal, depressed, angry, upset. I had a lot of anger. So,
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That's really, really awful.
yeah.
Uh,
So terrible.
I'm really happy to hear that you are helping so many people through your desire to help others because of what you've been through. So, can you tell me like some of the things, if you want to share? You don't have to share anything you don't want to share, by the way.
Yeah.
But can you tell me some of the things that you did and used to work through your anger and rage? Like, what were some of the things that helped you to process that?
So yeah, obviously, I use the main tool is my Theta Healing. So I like to connect into the Theta space and then go into, because, I'm working with the subconscious mind. So going into the subconscious mind consciously from a conscious space and working through the belief systems and going into those space, that inner child space where, the abuse happened at that time, and giving the inner child the love and, allowing her to be heard and seen and to release the emotions that are coming through. And then obviously through the emotional releasing is the, that the embodiment work that, goes with working through the programmings and the belief system that's held on there. So yeah, because obviously, the first 7 years of our lives, 3 months before we were born, we're being programmed by our mum and dad through our theta brainwaves. So,
Yes.
if there's abuse there, straight away there's that. Your nervous system is not responding safely, you're not feeling safe, and you may have beliefs around, love is abuse. And so, yeah, working through that.
So were you introduced to theta healing? Somebody healed you through theta and then that's what you used
Well,
to process your
yeah,
anger?
how I found theta healing is, so I was in my daughter's father, abusive relationship. He was an alcoholic. And yeah, this particular week, a close friend to us, family friend, she passed away. She had a severe asthmatic attack, and we lost her. She was a young mum. She had a little 2-year-old boy, and it hit really hard. And I was already, living in survival mode. I'd already had an awakening, but I was, sort of just not surviving at this point in time. I was just trying to just be there for my kids. And but I knew, I wasn't okay. And then I was making a coffee one morning, and I was like, just prayed. I said, look, I can't keep doing this anymore. Please send me something that's going to help ground me, and I have to stay. Like, I have kids, I can't keep doing this. I just knew. And then the next day, this person that I was pretty close to at the time, she's come around. She's, bought this her phone. She's like, sit down and do this healing, this live replay healing. It's called Theta Healing. And I did, and that was it. It just completely changed my life, and I threw myself completely all in and did so much, went completely deep, and yeah, started doing the healing work. So
Wow. And so
and I
through
haven't
that
stopped.
anger obviously started to come up and then you just did that process like
Yeah.
on like did somebody else do it on you or did you do it on yourself?
Well, yeah, well, this lady, Tina, she's has a big business in the UK. She works online. She has books and stuff. She was my teacher mentor for a few years. So she teaches theta healing, and that's who I found, theta healing through. And she was, doing lives every morning, call it mantras in pajamas. And I show up every morning and we'd get on, we'd do the theta healing, the clearings and stuff. And then I went on to do the courses, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so cool. So you've been doing that for how long?
5 years now.
5 years, yeah. But I'm almost as long as
Yeah.
I've been doing my stuff. Yeah. it's a good chunk of time, man.
It
You,
definitely is. Yeah. Yeah.
in my opinion, you're an expert. You know, you're an
Yeah.
expert now in
Yeah.
what you do, and yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. So have you helped other people through their own anger releases, also
Yeah.
through your work?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. I had started had built a good client base when I was before I took a step back from my business for a while, and I managed to help a few women, so which is really good. I did a course called the Priestess Codes, and I was a womb pod leader, so I'd end up sitting the course twice, you know, because the second time I was brought back as a womb pod leader to lead the second lot of women through the course, you know. So yeah, I've done a lot of work with women a lot.
That's amazing. So what do
Yeah.
you find that is like probably like very common anger issues or root reasons of why they're anger with your work?
Because they have never had the permission to release and to be heard and seen. And not only is it just in this lifetime, you know, patriarchal suppression plays a massive role as well, because we've been suppressed through many lifetimes from speaking our truth, you know, using our intuition, you know, our herbal medicines to heal ourselves and bring messages of love. You know, we're at a stage now that, you know, they can try and control us through the fear of the mass consciousness, but our consciousness and our hearts are too evolved, and they can never take that control away, you know, and that's where we continue to take our power back and rise.
Yeah. Yeah, like whoo, it's such a big fucking deal. Like our anger is our voice is our anger. Like it's all tied together. And
Yeah.
yeah, when we're not allowed to speak that anger and talk about what's wronged us and be in safe spaces and have other like when I used to do 6-week programs, there was a big thing about women coming in being like, I'm afraid to tell my story because I'm afraid it's going to be used against me by the women in the group. I'm afraid they're going to be catty. I'm afraid they're not going to
Yeah.
support me because nobody else supports me in other groups. And
Yeah.
every single time, they all ended up being like best friends. Like there were people who would literally, like I had 2 people who were, one was in New Zealand, one was in Australia, and they actually flew to see each other and hung out together, took pictures of it and sent it to us. And then I had that happen with another 2 people in the States. She was like, oh, I'm going to be going through your state. I'll hang out with you. And they like, it was just so cool to see like, you know, those things like happen.
Yeah.
But you realize it's so important for us to keep talking about it because so many women feel like they are going to have it used against them. Like, I don't know. Did you ever see the video that was going around of the women who were screaming in the forest and they were like beating things on the
Yes, the
forest? Do you
sticks.
see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you ever read the fucking comments? The comments were atrocious. I mean,
Yeah.
it literally was because somebody, okay, the original video did not say anything of, I don't even think it even said a title. I think it might have just been like women releasing or like whatever, you know, it's like some positive thing. And then somebody reshared it with the title, Women Who Are Mad at Their Husbands. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
then all of the comments were just atrocious of like, well, maybe you should just leave your husband and like that poor forest and
Yeah.
like what the forest ever do to you and like these women are crazy. No wonder men have a hard time. Like it was just like there's just so much judgment around just expressing your, you know, and every time I have to go in there and be like, you do realize that like this is how the abuse doesn't continue by
Yeah.
doing things like this. This is,
Yeah.
you know, you have to educate people. And the thing is like, what's also hilarious is I will always make comments in there too of like, those of you who have an issue with these people releasing are the ones that are also super pissed off. You
Yeah.
can't hold space and can't understand why it is somebody's doing this because you yourself haven't taken the opportunity to release your own anger, and so it's triggering all
Yeah.
of your bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they don't
it's
feel safe.
totally triggering all of your shit. So, and because you'll see the other people in the comments being like, oh my God, this is amazing. Good for them. I'm glad they're getting this out. I'm like, yeah, those people get it. Those people have a healthy relationship with their anger. All
Yeah.
y'all that are being ridiculous, here's my number. here's my website. You fucking need my work. Like, come
Yeah.
see me. Let me help you. You're an angry
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. And it
know?
speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah. It really, 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 really does.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a lot. But it's good for them. I have other people saying things like, yeah, and they paid $4,000 to do this, and they could have just gone out and screamed by themselves, and like could have just gone out in their backyard or screamed into their pillow. And it's like, you don't understand that like a lot of these people need the witnessing. They want the camaraderie. They want to come together and scream together. They want to do
Yeah.
it where it's not just, for once, it's not somebody telling them they're bad and wrong, but yet everybody coming together to say how amazing and incredible it is. Like there's a healing that happens, especially for women, when we all come together in a circle, so to
Community.
speak, and
Yeah.
put our stuff together. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and like in my 6-week program, I'd also tell people like, now when you go out into the world and you show your anger or make a post about your anger or talk about it, and somebody says something shitty to you, now you have proof. Now you can think back, oh, would Tasha say something like that to me right now? Would so and so that was in my class with me say that to me? Would I say that to another person? Like there's this new level of acceptance and confidence around, instead of shame. Like that literally like destroys the shame around the anger and instead gives you a feeling of uplifting and confidence and non-judgment, right? Just support in that. Which is huge, because you really do start to go, oh, I see where you're coming from. It's instead of it feeling like, oh, I'm wrong and I'm bad for showing my anger, now it's like, oh, I actually feel bad for you because you're suffering. You wouldn't be having any issue with my anger if you had a healthy relationship with it, which you obviously don't.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Well, do you have any like questions for me, or do you like have anything that you feel like is important that people should know about when it comes to anger or anything like that that's coming up for you?
No, I just feel like, if you can't find the safe space for yourself, it's definitely, it's a good thing to reach out to someone that can hold that space for you, and allow you to process those emotions in a space where you are able to be heard and seen and, held in love. So,
Yeah, I love that. I think that's also a really a great thing to remind people of, that like if you're feeling super isolated or like nobody around you is allowing you to feel your anger and you don't have a space for it, I have a group, right? There's you. Like there are people who will hold space for you. I am somebody also that I'll go live with somebody. You know what I mean? Like if you want to go live for free and you want to come on my podcast, I'll walk you through, some of my stuff. We can talk about, where your stuff comes from and try to start to get that stuff, some of that up and out. You're more than welcome again to just, there's options. Please know there's options,
always,
that's
it.
I have a $4 ebook that you can purchase. You just download it to your device. It's $4. It's a Sacred Rage like ebook, right? I have a 5-week self-study program. It's like $47. Like there are options for you to get some of this stuff up and out. My group, I tell people all the time, it's a private group. Come in, talk about why you're pissed off, make a post about it. Let me comment it. Other people comment on it. Like there is space. There is places, even if you can't get it out with the people around you. Please reach out. I'll help you get tools. I'll help you to get you to those spaces, because I don't want people to ever feel like they don't have the ability to do that,
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
for sure.
There's no need to feel alone.
Yeah, you don't have to feel alone in it, and there's plenty of people that will not judge you in the ways that you feel like you have been judged. So I want people to be able to reach out and do the things. So well, this might be a shorter podcast episode, which is totally fine. I don't have a problem with it being shorter at all. I think it's important to have Yeah, even those 20 minutes we've been on here, I think it's been important things to talk about. I love that you can't wait before we go. Can you tell when you say theta healing, but you're talking about like theta levels, like in the brain, like theta,
Yeah.
delta. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So do you get people into like a trance type state, and then you like it's like hypnotherapy, kind of like what's a
So
session like?
basically, it's very similar to hypnotherapy, but what we do is you're conscious. So we do it through a meditation state. So I walk you through a guided meditation where we access the theta brainwave through meditation, which is basically we access a quantum field, the God plane, creators plane, the energetic plane, and then we go in and we work with the subconscious mind. Depending if I'm working with you one-on-one, I actually have a group where I do live theta healings pretty much daily in the mornings, and I just come in and I just channel whatever comes through, what needs to be cleared, what needs to be brought in, and then we work with the subconscious mind, which is the theta brainwave, our data brainwave, and then we clear the negative beliefs, trauma. If I work with you one-on-one, inner child work, we do work with the 4 beliefs, 4 levels the core level, which is the inner child, the genetic level, which goes back 7 generations, but also 7 generations forward. Then we work with the ancestral line, which goes back to up to 100 level years. And then we also do work with the soul. So that's where past life comes in, working with different timelines and stuff as well. So we clear everything on all 4 levels. And we bring in new programming, new belief systems, new feelings, and
That's
the feeling work
amazing.
is
It sounds like really,
big.
yeah, super powerful work that you do, Candy Ann. I
Yeah,
love what you're
yeah.
doing. Well, I appreciate you coming on today and sharing that. So people, again, I like to always just say, this podcast is also about not just like, if you don't resonate with my work, there is all these other options. And I want to make sure
100%.
people hear that. Yeah, like my whole thing is I just really want it up and out of people's bodies. If you don't do it with me, you don't fucking do it with me.
Yeah.
Find some other way to do it. Here's yet another option for you if you feel like you don't resonate with my work. There are options. There are
Yeah.
things that you
That's it.
can do to help yourself, so do it. There's no
Yeah.
excuses. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
That needs to be my fucking motto. I swear to God. Get your shit together. Get your anger work done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I appreciate you so very much, everyone. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I try to do episodes every Sunday. Sometimes they're an hour and a half long. Sometimes they're an hour. Sometimes they're shorter, which we all can appreciate, because there's some days when we don't have a full hour to listen to something, and this amount of time is going to be perfect. So so if you want to be a guest on my podcast, please come see me. Message me, like I said. You can email me, sisterofsacredfire@gmail.com. All right, everyone.
Awesome.
Thanks again,
Thank
Candy Ann.
you.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.